In this session, we're going to be energizing the body and mind and revitalizing and lifting our spirits as we combine breathing with body movements. So we're paying attention to what we're experiencing as we move into each pose. And just like the last session, noticing sensations and honoring our limits in each moment and finding the right places with each movement to pause, reflecting, and then mindfully moving into the next posture. So following along closely with these instructions on the tape, and also knowing that in each moment, it's our own to choose how and when to move. So if we feel it best to refrain from participating in the movement today, then we can choose to do that. And just generally remembering throughout the practice and each movement to fully inhale the breath and expanding the chest and belly with each inhale, and experiencing relaxation and releasing tension with each exhale. And so now we'll begin the practice by coming up to a standing position and just bringing the feet together. And from here, just taking a few breaths, inhaling and exhaling the breath, letting the spine lengthen with each inhale. And from here, we're just going to, on the next inhale, lifting the arms up over the head, allowing the head to drop back if that feels comfortable for you. And then exhaling the breath and allowing the arms to come down to the sides, the fingers pointing down towards the floor. And then we'll repeat, inhaling the breath, lifting the arms up over the head, lengthening the spine, lifting the top of the head up towards the ceiling and just noticing how this extension is feeling. And then exhaling the breath and lowering the hands back down to the sides. And one last time, inhaling the breath, lifting the arms up over the head, allowing the chest and belly to expand with the inhale, and noticing how far we can stretch up, but not going too far, just staying in that balance, just right at that limit of far enough and not overextending. And then exhaling the breath, lowering the hands down to the sides. And from here, just starting to twist the body from the right to the left and allowing the hands to swing around the body and just sort of lightly thump on the body as you twisting back and forth and looking back behind each shoulder and just seeing how far back is comfortable for you to look as we twist, and let the arms just loosely fall from side to side. And then slowing down, just gradually allowing the hands to naturally come back to rest at the sides. And lengthening the spine as the top of the head is lifting up to the ceiling. And then from here, inhaling again, lifting the arms up over the head. And if it's comfortable, just looking up to the ceiling. And I'm going to make some circles with the arms, but we're going to have the arms go in the opposite direction. So to begin with, just allow the right arm to circle forward and the left arm to circle back. And then when the arms come down by the hips, continue the arms in the same direction, lifting the left arm up in front and the right arm up behind the body, and the arms meeting up at the top, and continuing in the same direction, another round of circles with the left arm going behind the body, the right arm going in front of the body, and then they're crossing down by the hips, and continuing with the inhale, lifting the hands up over the head, and then switching the directions of the arms, the left arm now going down in front of the body, And the right arm going behind the body, and then switching the arms, and inhaling the breath, lifting the hands up over the head, and one last time in the same direction, the left arm coming down in front of the body and the right arm going back, and when the hands get to the hips, they just switch, inhaling with the right arm up. And the hands meeting up at the top over the head, and then exhaling, lowering the hands down to the sides. And now from here, opening the feet up about hip distance apart so that the bottoms of the feet are flat on the floor, the toes extended, feeling your weight evenly between the toes and the heels, and just experimenting a little bit with the weight. And from here, we're just going to inhale the breath, lift the right arm up over the head so that the upper part of the right arm is coming towards the ear with the arm straight, palms facing forward, and the left arm is dangling down by the sides with the fingertips extending down towards the floor. And then exhaling the breath and bending to the left side, continuing to reach the right fingers up towards the ceiling and reaching the left fingers down towards the side, allowing the left ear to drop down towards the shoulder, the left shoulder, and then relaxing as the breath releases. And then inhaling, coming slowly back up to a standing position, lifting the right arm still up to the ceiling. And then when you come to the upright position, then just slowly exhale the breath and allow the right arm to return back to the side and completing that side. And just noticing how that experience feels, how the right side feels and how the left side feels. And then we're going to switch sides. So beginning to inhale the breath and lift the left arm up over the head. Now the left fingers are reaching towards the ceiling and the right fingers are reaching towards the floor. And then exhaling the breath and bending to the right side with the right ear now bending to the right shoulder and bending to the side as much as is comfortable for you, continuing with the reaching of the left fingers up towards the ceiling. And now slowly lifting the trunk back up to the vertical position with the left fingers continuing to reach up to the ceiling until you finish lifting up, and then exhaling the breath and lowering the left arm to the side. And just pause for a moment, noticing how your body is feeling and you're experiencing in your mind. And then from here, we're going to let the hands be in front of the body and lacing the fingers together with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. And from here, inhaling the breath, lifting the palms up towards the chest, and then lifting the hands up towards the head, and then flipping the hands over, the fingers still laced together with the palms now facing the ceiling, and trying to straighten the arms as much as possible, just straightening. And if the head feels okay, trying to let the eyes look up to the ceiling and the head drop back, if that feels okay on your neck. Finishing the inhale, looking at the backs of the hands, and then exhaling the breath, bending the elbows, lowering the hands back down in front of the body. And once the hands get to the chest, you can turn the hands over so the palms are facing the ceiling and continue lowering the hands down. Now, before you release the crossing of the fingers, just notice which thumb is on top. And then release the fingers and switch the hands and have the opposite thumb be on top. And then again, lower the hands down in front of the body with the palms facing the ceiling, and we'll do the opposite side. So again, inhaling the breath and lifting the palms up to the chest, up to the head, and once the hands pass the head, then flip the palms over so the palms are facing the ceiling and continuing on up, lengthening the arms and just trying to straighten the arms, looking the head up. If the neck feels comfortable, you can look at the backs of the hands, lengthening the spine, letting the pelvis release, and then exhaling the breath and bending the elbows and lowering the hands down to the chest, letting the hands flip over so the palms are facing the ceiling, lowering the hands down, and then release the hands from each other. And just noticing the effects of this posture and paying attention to the breathing and allowing the breathing to be established in a nice relaxed inhale and exhale. And so we're going to do the hands similarly. Just lace the fingers together in front of the body. Again, just lace the fingers. And again, inhaling the breath, lifting the hands up over the head and turning the palms over to face the ceiling. And then opening up the feet a little bit more than hip distance apart. And from here, we're just going to exhale, bending to the right side, keeping the hands laced together. The elbows might bend a little bit, but just trying to keep them as straight as comfortable. And then inhaling the breath, coming back up, lifting the hands back up over the head, bringing the body up to a vertical position. And then exhaling the breath and bending to the left side. And just exploring the sides, how your sides are feeling, and just noticing where the pausing point is for you in this bending today. And then inhaling the breath, coming back up to a standing position with the arms up over the head. And then exhaling, lowering the hands down to the sides and releasing the fingers. And then switching the thumb and lacing the fingers back together again, and still having the feet a little more than hip distance apart. Once again, inhaling the breath, lifting the hands up and turning the palms over, palms facing the ceiling. And then exhaling the breath, bending through the hips this time and lowering the body forward, lowering the trunk down, letting the chest come towards the knees, allowing the head to relax, the neck to relax, the chin is coming to the chest and the head is relaxing. The hands, the backs of the hands might touch the floor. Allow the body to relax. And then inhaling the breath, coming back up to a standing position, lifting the hands up over the head. And then exhaling and just bending back a little bit and exploring that feeling of allowing the head to relax back just as far as is comfortable for you. Just exploring that boundary, and then inhaling, coming back up to the standing position, and exhaling, lowering the hands down to the sides and releasing the hands and bringing the feet back together. And now just pausing here for a moment, observing the effects of those postures and allowing the breath to relax. And then from here, we're just going to turn to the side and open the feet up pretty widely, about 3.5 or 4 feet apart even. And it just depends on, people have different lengths of the legs. So it's a pretty wide stance for your own body size and length. And the feet are parallel to each other. And we're just going to begin by lifting the hands up so that the palms are a little bit higher than shoulder distance, just a little bit, maybe an inch or so. And the palms are facing the floor, and just looking forward and letting the spine lengthen, the neck lengthen. The pelvis is parallel to the floor, just evenly balanced, so that the bottom's not sticking out or too far tucked under. So just experiment with that. And then from here, we're just going to turn the left toes in just a little bit, keeping that heel pressing down into the floor as you turn the left toes in just a little bit. And then press the right heel down into the floor and turn the right toes open so that they're parallel to the blanket or the mat or your working space. And then with the hands up, the palms facing the floor, we're just going to Inhale the breath and lengthen the right side and letting the left hip come up towards the ceiling, keeping both legs straight, just bending down so that the right arm comes to the right leg and allowing the left arm to reach up to the ceiling so that the right hand and the left hand are reaching directly apart from each other. They're perpendicular to each other. It's as if they're one line up and down, and just bending to the side, allowing the head to relax down. If your neck feels okay, you can just turn the head a little bit to look up at the fingers if that feels comfortable for you. And then breathing and relaxing the breath. And then from here, use the feet to press down into the floor as your root and foundation, and inhale the breath, lifting the trunk back up, arms still out to the sides, and being in the pose to beginning, turning the toes with the both feet facing forward now so that the feet are parallel to each other, and that's one side. So from here, we'll do the other side. So again, same thing, press the heel down into the floor and just turn the right toes in a little bit slightly, and then press the left heel down into the floor and open up that left foot so that the left foot is parallel to your working space. And the palms facing the floor, inhaling the breath, lengthening the left side, reaching the left arm out, allowing the right hip to reach up to the ceiling, but also allowing the tailbone to roll back down towards the floor as you allow the left arm to come somewhere on the hip or the shin, or if you're very flexible, the hand might come down to the ankle with the right arm lifting up to the ceiling. So just broadening across the back and just coming just only as far as is comfortable for you in this posture today. Broadening across the back, reaching the fingers away from each other and allowing the breath to move in and out of the body throughout the duration of this posture. Noticing how the breath is, if it's changing in quality, observing that changing. And then let's come out, inhaling the breath, lifting that right arm up to the ceiling as you come back into the standing position. And then turning the toes forward so that the feet are parallel to each other. And now just walking the feet back to each other and allowing the hands to lower down to the sides so that you're in a standing position. Yes. Okay. So from here, we're just going to come on down to the floor now. And we're just going to come on down, laying on the belly, so extending the legs out behind you. Just come on down to the floor. So laying on the belly and extending the legs out behind you and reaching the arms up over the head with the forehead on the floor and allowing the body to relax. And then from here, sliding the hands back down underneath the shoulders, a little bit away from the shoulders. And then allowing the forehead to still be on the floor. And then from here, we're going to do some back bending poses. We're just going to begin by inhaling the breath and having the whole palms pressing down into the floor as you lift the head up, lift the shoulders up, lift the chest up. And if the head feels okay, you can allow the chin to look up, looking up to the ceiling, letting the head drop back. Just noticing how this is feeling, if it's comfortable on the neck. And then coming out of the pose, slowly rolling the spine down one vertebrae at a time, lowering the chest down. At the last moment, you can allow the head to roll down, the forehead come back to the floor, and take a few breaths, just relaxing the body. So we're going to do that pose a few times, experimenting a little bit with some twisting in the spine. So again, the palms are placing on the mat underneath the shoulders, a little bit away from the shoulders, and the forehead's beginning on the floor. The legs are relaxed, the bottoms of the feet are pressing into the floor. And we'll begin again, inhaling the breath, lifting the head up, lifting the shoulders up, lifting the chest up a little bit, drawing the shoulders back. Now this time, just twisting a little bit in the spine, looking the head over the right shoulder. So it's like we're looking up to the ceiling a little bit, and the corner of the room, the back corner of the room, twisting the spine, using the hands in the floor to twist a little bit. Just experimenting with your own body and noticing the sensations, and then coming out, exhaling, and releasing the twist and lowering the body down one vertebrae at a time and lowering the forehead down to the floor. Completely relaxing the breath in the body. And again, we're going to begin the next pose. Inhaling, coming up, lifting the head up, lifting the shoulders up, lifting the chest up. And now twisting to the left side a little bit, twisting the spine and looking the head over to the left side, looking back at the left corner of the ceiling in the back. And just experimenting a little bit with your hands, allowing the back to flex a little bit, drawing the shoulders back. And then exhaling the breath and lowering down one vertebrae at a time. And just lowering down. And then releasing the hands, straightening the arms and bringing the hands to either side of the hips with the palms facing the ceiling, and then just turn the head to one side so that your cheek is resting on the floor and allowing the shoulders to relax down. Allowing the whole body to relax. And then we'll move into the next pose, just rolling the forehead back onto the mat. Now this time we're going to bend the knees, keeping the knees no more than hip distance apart, but bending the knees, bringing the heels in close to the buttocks. The forehead's on the mat, the neck is relaxed. And now trying to reach the hands back to grasp the feet or the ankles. And if you can grasp the feet or the ankles, just holding on to the feet and relaxing the body. And if that's not happening today, then just bring the palms to the either side of the hips with the palms pressing down into the floor. And this choice here allows for the same benefits as the other pose. So either way, we're just going to begin inhaling the breath and arching the back, lifting the head up, lifting the shoulders up, arching the back. And if you're grasping the feet, then lift the big toes up towards the ceiling and seeing if the knees want to come up off the floor. They may or may not want to come up off the floor. You can just see they want to do that today. And then at the same time as you're lifting the toes up towards the ceiling, press the feet into the hands towards the wall behind you to help open up through the chest, looking up to the ceiling if that's comfortable for the neck, just experimenting how that feels. If the palms are on the floor, then you can just push the palms into the floor and do the same thing, lifting the toes up and seeing if the knees want to lift up off the floor. And then exhaling the breath and releasing the feet, lowering the legs back down, lowering the chest back down, one vertebrae at a time, lowering the forehead to the floor. And then just turning the head to the opposite side that we had before, the opposite cheek on the floor, allowing the palms to face the ceiling and the body to relax. And then we'll practice that same pose one more time. Just take a couple breaths here, relaxing. And now rolling the forehead back onto the mat. And again, bending the knees, bringing the heels in close to the buttocks. And again, reaching the arms back, reaching the hands to grasp the feet, if you can do that. Then hold on to the feet. And alternatively, just placing the palms on the floor on either side of the hips. And in either pose, let's begin inhaling the breath, lifting the head up, lifting the shoulders up, arching the back, lifting the toes up to the ceiling. Seeing if the knees want to come up, and then just holding the pose. And you can either retain the breath in the body throughout the pose, or you can practice some abdominal breathing. Just slow, relaxed breathing. If you find yourself getting out of breath in this pose, then just come out of the pose and come back to the relaxation pose. But trying to keep the breath relaxed in the pose for another moment or two, if you can do that. And now exhaling, lowering back down, releasing the feet, and releasing the arms to the floor, and lowering the forehead to the floor, and relaxing the body. And just taking a moment to notice the effects of the pose. And just experiencing your body in this relaxing pose. And now from here, we're going to bring the palms underneath the shoulders again. And then push up onto the knees with the knees bending. And then turn the toes under. And from here, we're going to press the palms down into the floor, each of the knuckles on the palms, so the whole surface of the palms pressing into the floor. And from here, just inhaling the breath and lifting the tailbone up to the ceiling as the chest drops down to the floor. The head's up off the floor, and just the palms and the toes are on the floor now as you lift the tailbone up to the ceiling and straightening the arms and legs. And just trying to be in this pose for a few breaths and paying attention to how this pose is feeling in your body and just really noticing what you're experiencing. You can just breathe normally in this pose, straightening the arms and legs, allowing the heels to drop down towards the floor. And then from here, just lowering the knees down to the floor and releasing the feet so that the tops of the feet are on the floor and the big toes are touching, and then just allowing the chest to lower down towards the floor, the forehead comes to the floor, and the elbows come to the floor, and just relax for a moment. And then from here, coming back up to a sitting position. And now just coming up to a sitting position, releasing the feet and stretching the legs out in front of your body so that we're just sitting on the floor. And from here, just opening up the legs as wide apart as is comfortable for you today. And just flexing the feet back a little bit, pressing the heels and the backs of the knees down into the floor. And letting the tailbone relax down to the floor. Lengthening the spine. And then just bringing the fingertips of each hand, so all 5 fingers of each hand in front of the body, just placing the fingertips on the floor. And lengthening the spine. And just experimenting a little bit to see if the legs want to open up a little bit wider apart. They may not, and they may. And then from here, we're going to just bring the left hand behind the body, sort of in the same line with the hip, and bring the right hand in front of the body, a little bit away from the body, about maybe a foot away. So each hand is about a foot away from the body in the same line as you twist a little bit to face the left foot. And just breathing normally as we do this. It's a little bit of a twisting movement. But paying attention to the right hip, so allowing that right hip to roll back down to the floor. If it's trying to come up, then roll that right hip down. But just using a little bit of pressure of the fingertips into the floor to help turn the torso a little bit so the chest is moving towards the left foot. Drawing the shoulders back, lifting the chest up, lengthening the neck. And then releasing that pose and facing forward. And then we'll switch to the other side. So just twisting a little bit to the right foot and bringing the right hand behind the body at about the level of the hip and about a foot away from the hip. And the left hand in front of the body, also at about the hip height. So the palms of each hand are in the same line. And then just turning to the right foot, turning the chest and the head towards the right foot, straightening the legs, and just using those fingertips, pressing into the floor. And really just experimenting and just noticing how this is feeling in your body, and just noticing how far it feels right for you to go in this moment into the pose, twisting. And then releasing from the twist and facing back forward again. Okay. And then from here, just bring the legs back together. And then we're just going to lay down on the back. So just lay the back down onto the floor. And then from here, we're just going to inhale the breath and bring the knees up to the chest, bending both knees, just slowly bending the knees up to the chest and just taking your time to relax the back and bend the knees up to the chest. And at the same time we're bending the knees up to the chest, feel the shoulders falling down to the floor and opening up. The back of the neck is relaxing. The chest is relaxed. So it's really the lower abdominal muscles that are working to hug the knees into the chest. And the rest of the body can be relaxed. So just noticing how that feels to release any unnecessary tension from the body and just engaging that part of the lower abdomen that is needed to pull the knees up to the chest. And then you might experiment rolling from the right to the left a little bit, just rolling slowly from side to side on your back, giving that low back a little massage as you hug the knees into the chest and continuing to be aware of the breath. A nice relaxed breath, hugging the knees into the chest. And we'll do another little twisting pose. So from here, just being on the back, being still on the back, and then keeping the right knee bent, just extending the left leg out, lowering the left heel down to the floor. The left leg is straight. And keeping the right knee bent up to the chest. Now we're just going to exhale the breath and lower the right knee down to the left side so the right hip will come up off the floor a little bit as the knee moves down away from the body towards the floor, but at the same time trying to keep the shoulders pressed down into the floor, both the shoulders. So also twisting the upper body to the right, so extending the hands out to either side at about the height of the shoulder, and just experimenting and exploring with this twist and seeing if the hip will twist a little bit more to the left as the upper body twists to the right. You can roll your neck slowly to the right and looking at the right hand, allowing the neck to relax. Taking a couple breaths here. And now coming out of the twist, inhaling the breath, and just slowly coming out of the twist. And allowing the right knee to come up to the chest, and now bending the left knee and also hugging the left knee up. So both knees are bending up to the chest, hugging into the chest. Relaxing the breath. And then we're just going to switch sides. So from here, straightening the right leg and extending the right leg out straight, lowering the right heel down to the floor. And hugging that left knee up to the chest now. And again, letting the shoulders relax back down to the floor. The neck is relaxed, the head is relaxed. And on your next exhale, just begin twisting through the low body and allowing the left hip to come up as the left knee drops down to the right. The left hip is releasing and twisting the low body to the right. At the same time, the upper body is twisting to the left, keeping both the shoulders pressing down to the floor, extending the hands out to the sides, and you can use the palms pressing into the floor to release the shoulders so that the chest is nice and open. And then completing the pose by turning the head slowly to the left and looking at the left hand, turning the neck just as much as is comfortable for you today, right now. Maybe more or less than it was the time before you practiced. And then just relaxing into the pose and taking a few breaths. You might bring the right hand to the left knee and use that hand to help guide the knee down towards the floor. Just a little bit of pressure with the hand on the knee can help deepen the stretch into the hips if you like that. And now it's time to come out when you're ready, inhaling the breath and just rolling back into on the back, and then bending the right knee up to the chest, so both knees are up to the chest, hugging the knees into the chest, and just, you might like rocking from the right to the left again, keeping the chest relaxed. And now from here, we're just going to keep the knees bent, but lower the feet to the floor so that the heels are close to the buttocks. So the knees are bent, keeping the knees bent. And just walking the heels a little bit closer to the buttocks. And then straightening the arms with the arms on either side of the hips. The arms straight. And just taking a moment to let the shoulders move away from the ears. And keeping the arms straight, just moving the arms underneath the body a little bit. The palms facing the mat or the floor, and just sliding the hands or the wrists underneath the hips, keeping the arms as straight as you can, rolling the shoulders underneath. So it's almost as if the arms are rolling under the upper body, but the spine is still pressing into the floor. So we're just setting the next pose, and we're just going to begin inhaling, lifting the hips up to the ceiling now. So just slowly taking your time to experience what this feels like to lift the hips up off the floor, just slowly rolling along the spine, rolling onto the shoulders, just experiencing the hips slowly lifting up, the heels and the feet pressing down to the floor, the palms pressing down to the floor, breathing normally. And then exhaling and just slowly lowering the spine down one vertebrae at a time and lowering the hips down back to the floor. And then from here, just stretching the legs out, releasing the legs one at a time, straightening the legs, so letting the feet be about hip distance apart. And then letting the hands come down to the sides, The hands are about 6 inches away from the hips, and we're just coming into the final pose. So we're just going to be on the back for a couple minutes. So just take a moment to get into a real comfortable laying position. So we're on the back, the legs are straight, the arms are straight. Allow the little toes to roll open, the palms face the ceiling. You might like using the hands to release the fleshy part of the buttocks towards the heels a little bit and drawing the shoulders under the chest, just experimenting with the posture and just coming into a comfortable laying position. And observing the breath. And just for the next moment, just letting the body relax. And we're going to begin to just come out of this pose nice and slow, just by starting to move the fingers and the toes a little bit. And then just stretching however you like. And just finishing up the practice session by moving the body and stretching however you like. And then rolling to the right side and coming up to a sitting position. And just finishing by bringing the right foot underneath the left thigh, just bending both the knees and bringing the left foot underneath the right thigh. And then just sitting in this nice pose, allowing the palms to be on the knees or just somewhere comfortable. And then releasing the hands, bringing the palms together so that the palms are touching each other lightly. And then allowing the thumbs and the edges of the wrists to touch the middle of the chest, lifting the sternum up a little bit. Back of the neck is lengthened, the spine is straight, palms pressing into each other. And just feeling centered in your practice and experiencing all the effects. This energizing practice, and just noticing how you feel. And allowing your inner intuition to just feel connected with your deep self. Just feeling that connection. So that when you get up and leave your practice today, you can take that intuitive connection with yourself out into the world as your life unfolds moment to moment, maintaining this